So I that's those two lessons is live below your means, education is power, save up, rainy days always come. I don't care how big a paycheck you have, it's bigger than rainy days. There's thunderstorms, hurricanes, monsoons that come at you in life. And you could be a little in a better standing position if you're prepared financially.
Alyssa, you have hit the nail right on the head. The rainy days will come. It's not going to always be sunshine and rainbows. You can
Mm-hmm.
think you have the best job in the world. You can't predict it. It's you just can't predict where a business will go 2 to 3, 5 years from now. If your job will become obsolete, so on. You have no idea. So you have to plan for that storm because it's definitely going to come. That is very powerful, and it's always, uh, especially given the field that I'm in and what I do, it's always such a breath of fresh air to hear someone like you actually taking away such powerful lessons like that, and from those real world experiences, so that going forward, you're a lot more able and financially prepared to go through the next rash of storms. That's not an if, but a when that's going to be coming up ahead. And
Mm-hmm.
so, another good segue here, you mentioned, coming from your home of Guyana to Florida, not really knowing much about money. So I'm always interested, Alisa, in your upbringing in terms of finances. Uh, is it for you personally? Let's start with socioeconomics.
Mm-hmm.
Were you did you come up in a more high middle class to upper high end socioeconomic environment, or was it more on the lower scale of the spectrum in Guyana? Well, what was
I
your
love that question because it's been a my siblings and I we laugh about it because I feel like we were perceived to be high end, but I feel like we were truly middle class once we felt at the time we were middle class, and people thought we were on the higher end, and maybe we were, or we don't really know. And I remember my sister, who's 2 years younger, at some point, she's probably 6 or 8, and she said, "Mommy, are we rich?" Because we had a television, and neighbors would come, people would walk down, the street to come to our house to watch Evander Holyfield and Sugar Ray Leonard and boxing. And then there were a couple of soap operas that women would come to the house with their kids to watch, on Friday nights. I think it was Dallas or Falcon Crest or whatever. So we came to our house to watch TV. We also sold ice blocks, like ice, in the summertime. People came and bought ice. Like we froze enough ice in our fridge so that we were selling that
Hmm.
blocks of ice because people didn't have a refrigerator. And if they wanted to make their lemonade or their homemade juices cold, they would buy the ice from us and break it and put it in their glasses so they could cold, fresh, and drink. So obviously, and I remember at 16, I had a TV in my room with a DVR, a DVD player, and a or cassette of whatever, like I don't remember VHS, and I had the rewinder, and then I had a DVD player. So it seemed like I was pretty well off. And then finally, I saw an image a few years ago. We were laughing because my dad had a couple motorcycles, and we would all four get on it. My brother is 10 years younger, so he wasn't born. And in the beginning, before he got a car, which again made us seem more rich, we would all four be on the bike. And so I see images of that going around the internet with people from Africa, and they're still living that way. And I'm like, we did that. So we weren't rich. But then we got a car, in early 90s. My parents got a Ford wagon. So having a car was another big deal. So, but there was luck around us because my dad would only release funds. He didn't allow my mom to work. Um, and I'm grateful for her for that because I feel that helped me a lot. There's this thing I believe about mothers in the home, that really, really helps to form. You really have the hand that rocks the cradle, right? And so many people are having to, because there's this rat race and chase. We're kind of leaving our children in childcare. And I've seen the difference of children who go to childcare for a few hours. I believe it's needed versus the children who have to be there for 12 to 10 hours a day. Different outcomes, right? So I'm grateful to my mom for that, but it was just my dad income and his nature as where his mindset was, he only released funds as per day, and he bought what we call the bulk grocery once per month, but release funds per day. And so I grew up seeing money being very limited in my mom's life. And I formed the belief very early, I'm not getting married and I'm definitely not having no kids until if I get my own house and my own car and my own things. And that's just going to be it, because I will not have a man tell me when I will. And it was for me, it was just the basic things, food, books, like, so I feel like there was a mindset coming from my dad of, if I let you have all this money, you're going to squander it. Or if I let you have this money, well, I'm not going to have enough money, so I'm only going to give it out a little bit at a time. And so I just, it seems like I resisted that mindset a bit, but then I internalized other things that caused mindset issues that I had to work on later on. So that was my experience. So when I came to Florida, I mean, I'd already started my own business. I was 17, 18. I was making $100,000, remodeling my mom's house, expanding the facility of the business. I had paid staff and they were paid comfortably and taken care of. Um, that just really, that was my experience with money at an early age, that my needs were met and I had enough to be a blessing to other people. So when it comes to wealth, I had to shift now and understand that wealth and abundance, that's not it. That looks good, sounds good, it's great, but that's not it. It's, for me now, I have a different mindset where it's that plus having money to make things happen that you want to see happen in the world. You say it, you want it, you go get it. And you have to have access to that fund. It's not only what you have, it's also having access to funding. And so I feel like that's where my mindset has shifted to over the years. And even through my hardship of, becoming single again and having to depend on my own income, is now, as I approach my life in terms of money, it's not only what depends on me, is having access and having access for myself, that I can say, let's do this, and it happens. So it's not only my money and what I'm able to earn, because I had this mindset, if you heard it, where if I do it, I get it, I'm going to get my own, no, that's limiting yourself. And a lot of us are only dependent on what we can make or do. So that's why I formed Fulfillment Empowerment Network, because I believe it's a network of professionals that are going to really transform. And because we're such a solid network, people will want to give us money. It sounds crazy, but that's what I believe.
You ever heard the saying that your net worth is your net worth?
There you go. Yep.
Proof to that.
I subscribe to it 100%.